Imagine someone you love, your sister, your daughter, your best friend, telling you they just need a little break, a mental reset, a drive to clear their head, and then they never come back. That's the nightmare that began on August 12, 2013, in Pensacola, Florida. That's the day 25-year-old Tiffany Daniels vanished from her own life. No fight, no note, no cries for help, just silence. But Tiffany wasn't the kind of person who blended into the background. She was a vibrant soul who lived out loud. Friends called her the Barefoot Hurricane. Always painting, always dancing, always dreaming. She wore mismatched socks on purpose and could rig a stage light like a pro. At Pensacola State College, she worked as a theater technician, a job she loved and poured herself into. Every room she entered, she filled with color and laughter. So when Tiffany told her supervisor she needed some time off, it was unusual, but not alarming. We all need a breather now and then, right? She left work that afternoon around 4:43 p.m. She made it home. Surveillance footage caught her at her front door around 5 p.m., and then, not long after, she got back into her car and drove away again. That was the last time anyone saw her. At exactly 7:51 p.m., toll booth cameras picked up Tiffany's silver Toyota Corolla heading toward Pensacola Beach. And then, she disappeared into the humid dusk. 2 days later, her car was found abandoned in a parking lot near Fort Pickens, not far from the Gulf Islands National Seashore. The scene was eerie. Her purse was inside. So were her clothes, a jar of peanut butter, her paintings, her phone. Everything that made up the chaos of Tiffany's everyday life. But her wallet? Gone. So was Tiffany. No blood, no struggle, no broken windows, no footprints leading away. Just a quiet car baking in the Florida sun. Like someone parked it there and vanished into thin air. Her roommate hadn't seen her. Her bike was still at the house. Her cats, whom she adored and would never leave behind, were alone, unfed. She hadn't even mentioned wanting to take a trip, and still, she was gone. Between 5 p.m. and 7:51 p.m., something happened. Tiffany made a decision, or someone else made it for her. And it didn't take long for her loved ones to realize something was terribly wrong. This wasn't a woman who ghosted. She was close to her family, texting her mom daily. She was active in her community. She had plans. She had art to finish. And then whispers started surfacing. People reported seeing a woman matching Tiffany's description walking barefoot on the beach in the days after she went missing. Some said she looked disoriented. Others thought she might have been under the influence. No one could say for sure if it was her, but this detail cracked her family's hearts wide open. Tiffany danced barefoot in the theater. She painted murals barefoot in the grass. Could she have walked barefoot down the beach, alone, confused, vulnerable? Or had someone taken her there, stripped of her shoes and maybe her sense of self? There are three main theories surrounding Tiffany's disappearance, and each one pulls you into a darker possibility than the last. Theory 1, mental health crisis. Some speculate that Tiffany suffered a spontaneous mental health breakdown. Maybe she had a dissociative episode, wandered off and succumbed to the elements. Maybe she just walked into the ocean. But Tiffany had no documented mental health issues. No history of breakdowns or erratic behavior. She was stressed, yes. Her father had recently suffered a health scare. She was navigating post-college adulthood. But nothing so extreme that would suggest a psychotic break. And what about the barefoot sightings? Could they support this theory or disprove it? Theory 2, abduction. Tiffany's family believes she may have been abducted, possibly trafficked. And this theory, horrifying as it is, holds weight. The stretch of road between Pensacola and Fort Pickens is a known human trafficking route. Florida ranks among the highest U.S. states for trafficking cases. In fact, there had been recent stings in the area. Some survivors of trafficking even came forward later saying they remembered seeing someone who looked like Tiffany in captivity. Authorities have never ruled this out, but they've also never confirmed it. Theory 3. Someone she knew. Tiffany was warm and open, sometimes to a fault. Her friends admitted she had a tendency to trust people quickly. She was the kind of person who'd offer you a ride home or invite you to dinner after meeting you twice. Did she meet someone online? Was she lured by someone she thought she could trust? Some point to a man her roommate mentioned seeing around the house in the days before she vanished. A man who reportedly made Tiffany uneasy. A man who was never identified, never interviewed, never tracked down. Who was he? What did he know? One of the strangest details? Her car had sand all over the floor mats, and over 1,000 miles racked up that no one could explain. Where had it been? And why had it been parked facing away from the ocean? Locals say no one parks that way unless they don't plan to stay long. Most beachgoers back in so they can face the waves. But whoever left Tiffany's car there had no interest in the view. To investigators, it felt staged. Was it a cover-up? A warning? A misdirection? To this day, no one has been able to trace those mystery miles on her odometer. No surveillance footage. No receipts. No gas station records. Just silence. Tiffany's father, Rodney Daniels, has become the heartbeat of this case. He's walked every inch of that beach, posted thousands of flyers, spoken at trafficking awareness conferences. He even traveled to other states chasing down rumors and dead-end tips. He's been met with roadblocks, indifference, delays, but he refuses to stop. In interviews, his voice shakes, not just from grief, but from a deep and burning frustration. How could a young woman vanish in broad daylight in a populated beach town and no one knows anything? He once said, "There's a hole in our lives where Tiffany should be, and until we find her or what happened to her, we can't begin to fill it." In 2014, a year after Tiffany vanished, a witness came forward. A man claimed he'd seen someone matching Tiffany's description being picked up in a dark-colored truck near the beach the night she disappeared. The girl looked reluctant to get in, uneasy. This tip wasn't followed up thoroughly at the time. When investigators returned to the witness months later, he couldn't remember the license plate, couldn't recall enough details to track it. And yet, that clue haunts the case like a phantom. Was that moment, the opening of a truck door, the split-second Tiffany vanished into the hands of someone who meant her harm? Or was it a false memory, blending with rumor and time? Tiffany Daniels has now been missing for over a decade. Her family still celebrates her birthday. They still set a place for her at Christmas. They still imagine what she might look like now, older, wiser, maybe with a few silver strands in her long, sun-streaked hair. But there are no new leads, no suspects, no confirmed sightings. Only pain, only questions, only the chilling reminder that you can walk into a summer afternoon and never walk out. Rodney Daniels once recorded a message and posted it online. It was meant for Tiffany or for anyone who might be holding her. "If you're out there," he said, "we haven't stopped looking for you. We never will. You are not forgotten. You are not a face on a poster. You are our daughter, our sunshine, our heartbeat, and wherever you are, we will come for you." That message still lives online, still echoing, still unanswered. The Florida coast is beautiful, but it can be unforgiving. The wind swallows sound. The waves erase footprints. The heat plays tricks on the mind. But someone out there knows what happened to Tiffany Daniels. Someone saw something, heard something, did something, and they've kept that secret buried for over a decade. But secrets have a way of surfacing eventually, and just when you think it can't get stranger. 2 years before Tiffany disappeared into the sands of Pensacola, another young woman vanished under even more bizarre circumstances, this time at sea. Her name was Rebecca Coriam. She was 24, bright-eyed, ambitious, and working on a Disney cruise ship, the so-called happiest place on water. She sent one final text, and then she was gone. A luxury vessel in the middle of the ocean. No exit, no place to hide. And somehow Rebecca vanished, leaving only whispers behind. Her story?
If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video.
They say the ocean holds secrets no one can reach. Depths that swallow the truth and never let it resurface. And somewhere in those depths is the truth about what happened to 24-year-old Rebecca Coriam. In March 2011, Rebecca boarded the Disney Wonder, a luxury cruise ship operated by the most powerful entertainment company on Earth. She was hired as a youth activity worker, eager and excited to begin a new chapter. A dream job, a chance to travel the world. But within days of setting sail, that dream turned into a chilling disappearance. Because Rebecca didn't just vanish from a ship, she vanished from Disney's floating kingdom. A vessel equipped with hundreds of cameras, dozens of crew members, and tight protocols. A place where magic is curated down to the last smile. Yet somehow, Rebecca Coriam stepped out of view and was never seen again. Rebecca was from Chester, England, a bright and sporty university student with a passion for psychology and adventure. Friends described her as funny, fiercely loyal, and full of energy. She came from a loving family, parents Mike and Anne, and a younger sister she adored. She wasn't a runaway. She wasn't troubled. She was grounded, responsible, and full of life. That's what makes her sudden disappearance on March 22, 2011, so gut-wrenching. At approximately 5:45 a.m., CCTV footage captured Rebecca on a phone call in the crew area of Deck 5. She looked distressed. She was holding her head, pacing. A crew member approached to ask if she was okay. She reportedly replied, "Yeah, fine," then walked off camera. That was the last confirmed sighting of Rebecca Coriam. Later that morning, she didn't show up for her work shift. When she still hadn't appeared hours later, her absence was reported to ship authorities. The Disney Wonder was docked in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, when the crew conducted a ship-wide search. Nothing. No witnesses. No signs of a fall. No personal belongings out of place. Her cabin was clean. Her ID badge and flip-flops were the only things missing. Disney's official report? They claimed she'd been swept overboard from Deck 5, a crew-only area with high railings. But her family and independent investigators have been calling that explanation a cover-up ever since. Disney contacted Rebecca's parents with the news, 2 days after her disappearance. Mike and Coriam immediately flew to meet the ship at the next port. When they boarded, they were told not to speak to other crew members. They were escorted around by Disney's security team and shown Rebecca's cabin, which had clearly been cleaned. There were flowers placed on the bed. To the Coriams, it didn't feel like compassion, it felt like control. They asked to see the CCTV footage. They were shown only that single clip of Rebecca on the phone. They asked for access to the logs. Denied. They asked to speak with the ship's captain privately. That request was ignored. What are they hiding? Why is the happiest cruise line on Earth acting like it has something to lose? Disney's official stance was that Rebecca had gone to Deck 5 in the early morning, near a crew pool area, climbed the railings, and been knocked overboard by a rogue wave. But several things don't add up. 1. Deck 5 is lined with tall steel walls and glass barriers. It's built for safety, especially in crew zones. 2. The ocean was calm that day. 3. Rebecca had no history of depression or self-harm. And 4. There was no footage. No alarm. No splash. No one saw or heard anything. Disney insisted a flip-flop found near the edge belonged to Rebecca. But the brand and size didn't match. One shoe was torn, the other spotless. They weren't even a matching pair. Why lie about the flip-flops? Was someone trying to plan a narrative? After the incident, other crew members reached out, quietly, cautiously. Some said Rebecca had been involved in a complicated relationship on board. Others claimed she was upset over something that happened at a staff event. One rumor was that she was arguing with a male crew member the night before. But these leads were never pursued. Disney refused to release full security footage. Crew members were discouraged from speaking publicly. The company locked the story behind contracts and PR statements. And to this day, Rebecca's emails, social media, and private messages have never been accessed by her family. Why? What's behind those closed digital doors? Months after the disappearance, journalist John Ronson boarded the Disney Wonder undercover. He asked questions, observed, dug into the layout of the ship. He quickly noticed something. Disney had installed cameras in nearly every corner of the ship, stairwells, dining halls, hallways. But the footage of the morning Rebecca vanished? Just one clip. On deck 5. Then nothing. Ronson interviewed former staff who had since left the ship. Several hinted that something had gone wrong that night, that there was more to the story, that Disney's internal investigation wasn't a search, it was a silencing. One even said, "If you think the truth will come from Disney, you're dreaming." Because Rebecca was a British citizen and the ship was registered in the Bahamas, investigation fell under Bahamian jurisdiction. But the so-called investigation? It lasted one day. One Bahamian officer flew in, spent hours on the ship, and left. No forensics. No interviews with key staff. No meaningful search. And then nothing. Rebecca's family described it as a legal black hole. Jurisdictional loopholes left them stranded, grieving and stonewalled. Even the British government's attempts to press Disney yielded no substantial answers. Imagine your child disappears in a place with 2,700 people, cameras everywhere, and a billion-dollar company behind it, and no one is held accountable. Not even questioned. A few weeks after Rebecca vanished, something strange happened. Her parents received a notification that someone had tried to access Rebecca's Facebook account. They reported it, tried to trace it, but the activity was never explained. Was someone trying to cover tracks? Or was Rebecca still alive? As the years passed, speculation around Rebecca's disappearance only deepened. Theory 1, a shipboard accident. Perhaps she slipped. Perhaps she fell. Maybe no one noticed in time. But how? On a ship crawling with crew, cameras, and safety protocols? Theory 2, suicide. Some insist Rebecca took her own life. But her family disagrees vehemently. She had plans. She was looking forward to seeing her parents in 2 weeks. She was booking future travel. And even if she had a bad night, why cover it up? Theory 3, foul play. The most disturbing theory, and the one her parents believe, is that someone on board harmed Rebecca. Maybe it was an argument gone too far. Maybe it was an assault. Maybe she witnessed something she wasn't supposed to. And in a tightly controlled environment like a cruise ship, it's not hard to imagine how someone might make a problem disappear. But here's what chills the blood. If Rebecca was attacked, if she was thrown overboard or silenced in some way, then someone on that ship is still out there. And Disney may have helped bury the truth. To this day, Disney has issued no formal apology. They've released vague statements about cooperating with authorities and deep sympathy for the family. But they've offered no transparency, no public accounting, no push for further investigation. Some believe they're protecting their brand. Others believe they're protecting someone on board. Either way, Rebecca's life, her death, her story, has become a corporate inconvenience. And that, her family says, is the ultimate betrayal. Rebecca's mother still waits for answers. Every time a body is found at sea, every time a new report surfaces, they hold their breath. But the waves always give back silence. In interviews, her parents' voices tremble. Not from weakness, but from 14 years of being ignored, unheard, unseen. They don't want justice for revenge. They want it for Rebecca, for the daughter they raised with love, who trusted the world, and who never got to come home. Rebecca Coriam boarded a cruise ship filled with laughter, music, and fairy tales. And somewhere between two ports, she vanished. Was it murder? Was it neglect? Was it a secret buried by the waves? Or a lie built by a billion-dollar empire? The sea doesn't give up its secrets easily. But we're not done digging. 2 young women, 2 vanishings, 2 families still searching through silence and shadows. Tiffany Daniels walked into the Florida sun and vanished without a trace. Rebecca Coriam boarded the happiest ship on Earth and was never seen again. No goodbyes, no answers, just a hollow space where their voices should be. If you know something, say something. Even the smallest detail can crack a case wide open. Because these families don't need closure. They need the truth. If this story moved you, share it. Someone out there may hold the missing piece. Subscribe to Unfolded Enigmas for more unsolved mysteries and true crime stories that deserve answers. Comment below. What do you think happened to Tiffany Daniels and Rebecca Coriam? The truth may be buried deep, but together we dig.